I can't tell what you're trying to do. I really can't tell what you're trying to fucking do, man.
I'm trying to look smooth. I'm
You're
trying to look as smooth as humanly possible.
you're
You
trying
know,
to you're
you know
trying
who's smooth? No, no. Correction. Do you know who is legendary?
Oh god. Oh, How I Met Your Barney, right?
Yeah, that show. That show's great.
This is the story we're trying to talk about here, right? This is the
Yes.
story. Now,
Guys, welcome to the 100th episode of What's on the Tube.
oh yeah, the show. Go
I am
ahead.
George. I do apologize if my audio is terrible. I do apologize if you hear any background noise. I'm going to do the best I can to entertain you guys tonight. And here I have the main guy, the creator, the host of What is on the Tube, Joseph.
My hair is still falling out. Like you don't understand. Like I got a fresh haircut and everything. My hair is still like. Why does the world keep doing this to me? Why does the world keep doing this to me?
The world's falling apart, so I'm used to it. Oh, let me fix my lighting, by the way. How do you like this?
Oh god. Actually, that looks way better.
It looks better? Okay, cool.
Yeah, that does look better. All right, so so today for the 100 episode, we are reviewing How I Met Your Barney, which was a short-lived. Yeah, fuck it, we're not reviewing that show. That show just exists in the figment of my imagination. I mean, actually, didn't you pitch to me like a Barney Central spinoff or something Barney related in terms of like a spinoff?
No.
You mentioned something
No,
like a
no,
few.
No, okay, here's what the idea that I came up with. Remember those two guys
Season 9.
at the last, the second to last episode of the series, where Barney just wrote out the entire bro code,
Playbook.
bro manual,
The playbook.
playbook in like fucking loose leaf paper.
No, it was cocktail.
I was like,
Cocktail napkin.
What if you just made a show about two guys living their lives? No relation to How I Met Your Mother at all, except those guys just happen to be in that one episode, and they just have a playbook.
I mean, it would be an interesting spinoff for sure, but
It was more like that was the only thing I could think of. This show stands on its own.
mm-hmm.
It's genius.
Oh no, yeah, 100%. No, without a doubt, no. It is probably the best comedic romantic sitcom I've ever seen in my life. It's better than Friends, better than Frasier, better than I'm gonna just mention a bunch of other shows that I've never seen before. Sunny in Philadelphia, better than Big Bang Theory, better than.
Sunny in Philadelphia is like its own thing. We'll get to that one day.
I haven't even seen the show yet. I know that's like it's going into its 15th season. I know. Oh, that's all I know.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy, because I think when you were trying to sell me on it, it's like, oh, it's on season 12. Now it's like on season 15, it's like, oh fuck, I may have dug my grave even further on this one.
Yeah.
But I am getting HBO Max soon, so... Or is it on... It's on Hulu or HBO Max?
I think it's on Hulu.
Okay, so I got no excuse to watch it. I'll watch it eventually. There's like a lot of other things I should be watching first.
Before we get to How I Met Your Mother and everything, let me just say, Joseph, I'm actually kind of impressed.
That what?
You told me you were going to be doing this show, right?
The overall
And
show.
you tell me, yeah, and like you come up with show ideas all the time. I tell Joseph what I think about them all the time. I like to help with the channel any way that I can, even though I don't have like too much of a big role in it, but I like to help out whatever way I'm able to. So he tells me ideas for shows. Tell him what I think. I don't remember being like that fond of your show idea, because you were just like, I'm just gonna make like a really low quality show. And I was like, what? Why are you doing this? And he was telling me like, yeah, no, Joseph, I don't know anybody that watches as much television as Joseph. Guys,
Thank you very much.
Joseph watches a lot of fucking TV.
Mm-hmm.
Not even like, I'm not even talking about like binge watching. He does a lot of binge watching too. But he watches television shows on a schedule, on cable television.
Plus streaming services, plus whatever other form television shows exist, I'd probably watch it.
Like, we're talking about a guy who just genuinely loves TV for what it is. And I'm like, that's kind of impressive. Because I don't like it that much.
Yeah, this is the
But,
same person
you know,
who, he's been clamoring for, like, I want a real mainline Batman exterior. We get Batwoman, it's like, nah, I'm out. After episode
yeah,
2, I'm out.
we he told me the idea for the show. I'm like, it sounds okay. I was like, all right, do whatever with it. He told me like, I really want to do a show where I just talk about what's going on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just he said like, I remember him telling me like it was in the vein of like telling your friends about the latest episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like having a chat about like, oh shit, did you see that? That's what's going on right now. And yeah. And he was telling me like, I just want it to be like really simple, really basic, really low quality. And I was like, that sounds stupid. Put work into it if you're gonna do it. And here we are at 100 episodes.
Well, keep in mind, I don't think, like, you told me, like, you haven't watched a single episode of this fucking show since, you did the Crisis review, and that was pretty much it. You bailed it out.
I believe that is the case, yes. I don't think I've seen it. Because you don't cover a lot of TV shows that I watch, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, but of course.
Not even being like, oh, yeah.
Well, I think the moment we announced, like, we're doing a Doctor Who series review, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm all in on that. I'm all fucking in on that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that will be the one fucking episode. It's like, okay, I will commit to, like, well, regardless of whatever style I put it in for, because the thing is for me, and we'll jump. This is kind of our segue here. Is that I don't think you could do, for me personally, in this day and age, in this time period, I don't think you can do How I Met Your Mother in season by season recaps. I feel like this is something you have to talk about the whole story, because it just makes too much sense to talk about in a full context of the series itself. If you try and do like season 1, season 2, season 3, I mean, it would be fun. It would be a fun 9 weeks. I would be chilling with you. But the problem is that
going episode by episode. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Each episode is great.
Oh no, yeah, that
Episode. I don't really like that one.
Blitzgiving still my best episode. We'll get to that. We'll get to our most favorite later on. But
we both love this show. Just so we're clear.
Oh, yeah, that's why we're dedicating the entire 100 episode to the fucking How I Met Your Mother. And, we're going to talk about everything, about the character, we're talking about the story, even the controversial ending, which, actually, I think I told...
Controversial ending?
Spoilers here, I am very much in support of. And then... so, anyway, if you are a returning What's on the Tube viewer, we will not be doing our usual rigmarole. We're not doing our... butchered recap, because we would be here for we would be here as much time as future Ted needed to tell that fucking story for this one, which I'm not going to fucking do. Like, I'm not going to start out with kids. In 2020, me and George started on reviewing the entire fucking How I Met Your Mother series, which we're not fucking doing here.
We would end up reviewing it for so long that the world would go back to normal.
Basically, yeah, that's how long. And I don't even remember this. Like here's the thing, like, George. This story is like I can remember at least 75% of the story. And
you might want to center your camera a bit too.
Oh, you noticed that? Oh, you mean me?
Yeah, as in like I can't see your head. I can see like up to your forehead.
Oh no, literally, this is as center as it's able to get. Like I tried, like it's like in that old-fashioned side, like you got to lean it back and forth, and then I'll just slowly set it on something on a certain position.
Okay.
So that's the best I'm able to work with right now. Plus, my hair is like. Sadly, not 100%. It's like maybe 85%. But anyway, enough with the rigmarole. Let's start this off, George, because we're going to be here for a while.
Just wanted to wrap that up. Congratulations on 100 episodes, Joseph. You did put work into this, and I am impressed. Do I think that the quality of the show should be better? Yeah.
Well, it will be better.
But it will be.
Takes time. I mean, we're doing this like...
What this is you're showing me that, like, you're serious about this. And I'm like, let's fucking go then.
Last comment before we start. How long did you think...
That's all I'm saying.
No, I get that. How long...
It's the greatest TV show ever.
Damn it, George. You're just trying to, like, weasel your way out of me guilting you. Last question before we start. Where did you... honestly... Okay, you knew I was going to do this show. And when I started up, did you honestly expect us to get to 100 episodes?
No. I think when I realized about like halfway through when we did that what was episode 50?
No, there wasn't.
Was it?
We did.
I know you didn't do anything special.
I did We did the Crisis. We did Crisis. We did Crisis together. And
what episode was Crisis?
It was January, so no 50. No, I didn't do anything special with the 50th. I think no, I did something special with 69 for Zane Sex Chronicles. I did that one. Okay, yeah, George is remembering like when I told him like, oh, I'm reviewing an adult film series for I can't even speak this seriously. Go watch that episode, yeah, and like the Zane Sex Chronicles. So it's like it's the most awkwardest episode I've ever produced because like it's so weird to talk about sex alone in front of a camera. Okay, let's get the ball rolling here. I'll kill George.
All I was saying was I realized that you were serious with this about halfway through.
Okay.
You were like, oh, I remember one time we were talking and you were like, oh yeah, I got to work on the episode for this, this, and this. And I was just like, oh shit, Joseph has like a schedule. Holy shit.
Well, it's easy. It's easy that TV shows give me the schedules to work with. It's so much more fucking easy.
But I was just like, I was able, when I saw that you were putting the work into it, I was just like, let's fucking go then. I'm 100% in support of what's on the tube. Final
comment. If we ever do make it to What's on the Tube 200, can we make a Cheers 200 joke where, I don't know if you remember this episode, was that it wasn't like a real episode, it was like all the cast and crew, like, you know, being interviewed by some very famous telecaster back in the fucking 80s, and the joke he made is like, here's to Cheers 200, we'll see you in Cheers 400. Like as a joke, it was like, oh, Cheers will probably go on to do 400 episodes, which never happened. You know what I mean, I just want to make that joke. Anywho, let's start it off. George, what is your earliest memory with How I Met Your Mother? We'll get to mine first, but we'll get to mine next. But like, what was your first like introduction before you introduced me to the show? So it's backstory to the backstory to the actual show. So introductions. Okay, go ahead.
So I heard of the show when I was like a little kid. I was just like, oh yeah, How I Met Your Mother. It just became like a common phrase, like, I am your father. Shit you hear in pop culture like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah. And so like I heard of the show as a kid. I saw one episode as a kid. It was the monkey episode.
Oh god.
You know what I'm talking about. The one where the monkey steals Marshall's wallet. I was just like, I watched an episode and I was just like, this is stupid. This show is really fucking stupid. Let me stop watching it.
And move on.
I couldn't get halfway past that episode.
And move on.
And it's funny. Just so we're clear, I have a history with sitcoms. I fucking love sitcoms. That just something about that style of storytelling is just fun. I'm not saying it's deep. I'm not saying it's the highest quality of storytelling out there, but I like it. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up watching Full House. That show was stupid. All right?
But it was still fun. But
I loved it, And over time, I saw other shows like Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, fucking even Friends. George Lopez was the shit too.
Yes, fuck yeah. I'll probably do an episode about that at some point in the near future. Not near future, yeah. the future. I don't know, bro. Yeah. My fucking schedule's tight. But anyway, go on.
And so yeah, like I've seen a lot of sitcoms. I mean, I have a soft spot in my heart for them, So one day I see on Nick at Night that they are going to start showing How I Met Your Mother, and I was just like, oh, that dumb show, damn. All right, I guess I'll be watching Nick at Night less. And then one of my friends told me that he was in love with the show. You were actually friends with him too back in the day. I'll tell you when we're done recording.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he told me that he loved the show and everything, and I was like, all right, cool. One day, I'm in the hospital, right? I was in the hospital. I had an asthma attack. Obviously, I'm fine now. Don't worry, this was years ago. It was all good. But I had to stay at the hospital for the night, and the only thing I was able to watch was Nick at Night. And I was just like, all right, I guess I'll watch Happening. Fuck it. And they were showing random episodes, and I loved it. As soon as I got home, I went to On Demand, and I just started watching random episodes of the show. And eventually, I was just like, fuck it. Let me start from the beginning. I started from the beginning, watched the whole thing. Every single episode. and it's become one of my favorite shows.
Mm-hmm.
I think in my humble opinion, I think it's the best sitcom out there. Like in terms of like storytelling, I think it's as good as you're gonna get. Because you can't tell an insanely serious drama
Mm-hmm.
in that format with a laugh track in the background. That's not possible. But what I'm saying, like, this show like really has the perfect balance of like comedy and seriousness.
Mm-hmm.
And the story itself, whether you like it or not, I think it was done well.
I agree with you on that. You have a shout out to the cast, the crew, the writers, everyone who's worked on the show. Because regardless of how you feel about the ending or the final seasons of the show, you have to
done pretty well.
Exactly, like they still
Yeah.
held it with the utmost respect, the utmost importance, and yes, it did fall into a little bit of like success may have went to their head a little bit more. You know, maybe they could have not padded out. They could have like reduced a couple of episodes, but I feel like at the end of the day, like the story was still, it was still worth telling, and it was still like at the same, for me personally, the same quality when I was wrapping episode 200 and I forgot what the last episode was. I think it was 209 or something from episode 1.
I feel like side note. I feel like they were going to end the show either at season 1 or season 2.
From what I read online before I did this, so obviously
That's the impression that I got when I saw the ending of season 1 and 2. I was just like, oh, because like, with the way the story lines up, you could have put the ending at the end of season 2.
Yeah, and also before we continue, spoilers. There will be plenty of spoilers. So if you have not seen How I Met Your Mother, please stay away. We will be spoiling the hell out of this. So I'm giving you that heads up. This is not a, I cannot do a spoiler-free review. That's impossible. I can't do that. We have to talk about the whole story.
Before we talk about spoilers, let's just say the show is great. Give season 1 a shot. Just check out that first season. If you like it, fucking go for it, because the rest of the series is that good. The rest of the series is consistent, and you're gonna like it if you like that first season.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
let's go into spoilers.
Let's go into spoilers. So, So what I was saying was that season 1, the original ending was had they been canceled after its original 13 episode order. What was the name of the cupcake girl? Damn. It was the first. Yeah, so she was planned to be the mother. Had the show ended,
really?
It would have been like.
Who was going to be the mother?
If the show was canceled after that 13 episode order, it would have been like the last thing, like, and that's How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
Which honestly, if it had ended there, if this was like a weird like CBS failure of a show, like, it would have been like, okay, I can buy that.
Yeah.
Would have been pretty much weird because why didn't you start? Actually, no. Even if you had ended it there, it would make sense why you started with Robin and then you moved it there. So it still would make sense.
I mean, like, yeah.
And then season 2. I mean, I don't know. I mean, remembering the season 2 finale, I'm like, that's kind of like
Finale is the wedding. Remember?
Yes, but still,
so, it's a wedding. So imagine Ted's wife was the bass player or guitar player.
Bass player.
Of the band in the wedding in the end of the show. Get it? The show ends with a wedding, regardless.
I get that. I don't.
2 ended with a wedding. They could have just done that.
I don't see it like that. I don't feel like it would have worked. Personally, because I feel like the way season 9 was structured, and we'll rein it back a little bit more. I'm just saying, for an example, like the reason why we were able to get the mother there is like, okay, we have these established characters, we have this established dynamic, so we can start we can free up some time in this massive 24 episode order to start showing more of the mother. I feel like putting it in season 2 would have been. I mean, if they had just copied and pasted that story to season 2, I don't think it would have worked. I feel like it would have been like, okay, it was either season 1 or we continue on to the end. And thankfully they were able to continue to the end.
Yeah.
So we'll go in order here.
I just got the impression that the show that the original creators wanted the show to be short. Because they left at season 3, 4?
I don't remember that. I think they were always involved, I believe.
No, I remember they came back in season 9.
I didn't read about that. I honestly did not read about. I thought they honestly stayed on board, but maybe you're right. Maybe they just, which is weird because ironically they have not had a single credit in terms of like working since How I Met Your Mother ended.
Yeah.
They haven't worked since. They were going to,
That money, man.
I guess, but they were going to develop that dad spinoff, but that never got picked up. So I guess
No, fuck it.
I mean, they were going to do either a dad or a father, but they both got canceled. And I think they were considering, let's do it again, but there hasn't been any progress on it since. Which I wouldn't be
This
against.
is like something new.
I guess, or maybe they were like, we made enough money, we can retire now. Or maybe they just can't find like the next big idea for them to work on.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to it. We'll work our way from the beginning towards the end of the story. So, season 1.
Honestly, I'm kind of fine with just talking about whatever in whatever
Oh, okay,
order.
that's fine. That's fine.
I just want to talk about
Blitz.
some of the great like stuff that the show has done.
You want to talk about Blitz?
Yes.
Blitzkiving. Oh, yes. Before we can more, let's take a little comedic route here.
Man.
Blitz, played by Jorge Garcia, is undoubtedly the best one-off character the show's ever seen. I feel like he should have joined the main cast. I felt like he was a prime candidate for another ensemble spinoff. I was very disappointed they only had him in that one episode and the one scene at the Gary Blauman episode of season 9. I was
No,
very.
he shows up again.
He does show up again. I know that, but it's like I want to see more of him. Like, I mean, I know I could just go see Hawaii 5-0 or finish Lost, but you know what I mean. I want to see that character continue.
You never finished Lost? I thought you did.
I did not have Hulu after I finished season 5. Now I do have Hulu, which it's on my list. It's just
Okay.
I want to finish Smallville first, which I'm still like 5.5 seasons. I still have 5.5 seasons left of that show. I need to knock out my queue list. I still have a lot of stuff on my queue list to watch, but
So do I.
yeah, but Blitz was probably the best side character. I understand. Okay, all jokes aside, I understand
One of the
why.
best what-up characters.
But besides Blitz,
Alright, I gotta get this off. Go on.
okay. In terms of like, okay, being serious, like you can honestly understand as being a writer and all. For me personally, jokes aside, I would imagine the whole Blitz, oh man, like the curse joke would have gotten old by after a few episodes.
God, that would have been. I think it's perfect how it is.
I know, but it's like I wanted more, but thankfully I wasn't given more. Thankfully. But okay, so after Blitz, I think because this show has had so many guest stars that even
So many.
I was so surprised.
So many
Like,
one-off characters. It was great, and like they were all like unique.
mhm.
You know, some of them kind of blended together, but they all had their own thing.
It surprised me
Like
that
now I look more like Ted.
I guess I still look like a Hispanic, a little bit more chubby version than Barney.
Mhm.
Neil Patrick Harris, man, you gotta give him credit. Like, I think he was the one consistent. Like, you can always rely on him for a good laugh.
Yeah. You ever notice just how many fucking girlfriends Ted has had?
Oh, we can start a whole segment about that. Like, let's
It's
write.
insane. Like everybody talks about how many girls Barney gets, but like, damn, Ted is in a committed relationship with a new chick every goddamn episode. It got funny at some point.
No, you're
It
right.
was great.
I feel like, yeah, you're right on that. I'm always surprised. Like, it depends. Like, if it was like, oh, the one episode girlfriend, or like, maybe this will last a few more episodes, then we'll kind of like figure out a way for them to split off. Because we know, like, this isn't.
That's why when Robin and Marshall met the wife for the first time, they just assumed that the wife was just gonna be like one of Ted's shows of the week.
I guess.
You know? So,
Oh God.
Yeah.
But they
I
didn't
loved
know.
their reaction to meeting her because they were just like, "No, don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
You're an idiot, Ted."
Oh no, you're right.
He's an idiot. Because we're all.
I think that's the thing. That's the whole point of Ted's journey. Why we had to get an 8-year journey, 9-season journey with him is that we saw him grow up from the immature 20-year-old guy to being a more responsible 30-year-old. 34 years old, I think that's his final age at the end of the show. Yeah, 34. Seeing that journey continue, and then, you know, we understand, like, he made this line in season 9, like, had I met your mother, like, even, like, a few years ago, I would still not have been the man that, you know,
I wouldn't have been ready for it.
Exactly. So, and So the whole phrase is like it'll happen when it happens is true because I feel like you would even if you had met that perfect person like earlier maybe you weren't going to be ready to have that moment too. So it does speak more to real life than in terms of like just writing a sitcom or writing a romance novel. Like it's actually based somewhat on actual real life.
I think Ted is definitely the everyman. He's a very average guy. I think the only thing that makes him stand out from the average guy is that he's a hopeless romantic. But hear me out. I think Ted is like the average guy, but just his life is a little bit dramatized, a little bit, and his life is a little bit exaggerated with all the hilarious shit that happens today, and all the dramatic stuff. And I relate to Ted.
Same.
I feel like there is a little bit of a hopeless romantic in
all of us.
I feel like his character arc throughout the whole series is that he is a hopeless romantic, and he does catch feelings for girls and people very easily.
Mm-hmm.
But he has to learn to live with that fact and not control it, but like be able to control himself with those feelings that he gets all the time. He gets very emotional very easily, especially with romance.
Mm-hmm.
He learns over the course of the show that he has to
be patient,
deal with those emotions properly, and control himself, and not let his love for every random chick dictate his actions. And I really like that.
No, yeah, Sam. You can definitely see that from season 1 where he told Robin, "I love you" on the first date, to the mother where he played it very simple, very casual, and then after their first date, they just knew. I think they kind of knew inherently that this is the one.
Yeah, he felt that, but he feels that way with a lot of girls. So he didn't let that dictate his actions.
Mm-hmm.
He just went on the next date. It's funny. My favorite scene in the entire show is ironic. My favorite episode of the entire show is where he goes on that first date with the mother.
Oh my god, I remember that episode so much.
I think the show was extremely interesting post meeting the mother. That first date, it made me cry.
That first date episode, honestly, you're right on that. That first date episode, it was the Gary Blauman episode, I think. Because he was explaining the story about it. Yeah, he was explaining the story about it. But that first date episode was honestly, like, hands down one of the best episodes of the whole series. Because, like, you finally get to see, like, obviously the story ends, like, this story ends with Ted meeting the mother. But as for the viewers getting to see, finally, the first real romantic encounter between these two characters that we've been wanting to meet for so long, was just it was so well written. It wasn't like your cliche, like, we're going on a whole romantic, let's pull out all the stuff. This was a simple, casual walk with a story to a restaurant, and getting to like see still the awkward resonance of the mother's of when we saw the How I Met Your Mother episode. No, wait, How Your Mother Met Me episode, the 200 episode. Getting to see that residue after effect in that episode it just cemented everything, in my opinion. And then seeing the first kiss was like, this was,
oh my god,
that was perfect. That was perfect.
It's perfect. Like the way that in the end of the episode where Ted is just like, look, you seem great, and things did not work out perfect. Mm-hmm. I would like to. He was able to hold himself back. He was very close to never seeing this girl again, and instead of just having some sort of like big outburst, I think he even like says that, the narrator. He said having some sort of big love outburst. He just goes, look, I'm really interested in you. Can we go out again? I'd love that. And it shows that, like, it's not shit like that's not always going to work, but with the one,
it will work.
It will work.
And thankfully, it did.
Yeah, and like that really says a lot about love.
Oh no, yeah, it does. Especially those two. I feel like I would have loved to see like an who owns? CBS owns How I Met Your Mother.
I think so.
I would love. I'm just saying that as a model example. I would love an HBO Max original miniseries where we just see those two characters.
Right?
I would like
I was thinking that for some reason I was under the impression that season 9 was just the regular show, but
with the mother,
but with the mother, yeah, as just like a regular character.
which she kind of was, but it was like she met everyone else and then Ted.
Yeah, it was weird. The season 9 was very strange, and it was very decisive for many.
I understand, yeah,
People.
because they stretched out one weekend into 24 episodes.
Yeah.
Basically, let's just say
I think the way they did it was fine. It's not what I wanted, but it in my opinion, it's very fitting for the story.
Mm-hmm.
They take something really simple, a wedding, and they make it fucking ridiculous, you know?
But it works.
And they also but in that ridiculousness, they interweave like this dramatic story of how these two people meet and fall in love, all that shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, you're totally right about that. We talked about Ted a lot, and we talked about but let's talk about our other characters, man. We barely tapped into the legendary Barney.
Barney is so stupid.
But he gets more girls than any one of us combined.
Please.
Please you? I mean, wait, hold on. I said that so wrong. Forget.
No.
Rewind the clock. I want to redo. I want to redo on my line. Okay.
The thing that I think of with Barney, weirdly enough, is his job. Just how much they were able to stretch out that joke. They managed to take this one joke of like, we don't know what our friend does for a living, and it seems really strange, and you only get snippets of it.
Mm-hmm.
You only get snippets of it. They take that really simple premise, that really simple joke, and they stretch it out.
The whole
And it manages to be funny.
By the end.
Fucking time. I love it.
And then when we got the explanation, it's like, oh, okay, that makes
so much sense.
That makes so much more sense. And honestly, besides that one joke, the slap bed portion was like those were my favorite Barney episodes.
The best stuff ever.
Like seeing the first one, every single time they set up a slap, it's like even as quick as it may be, or how much it just requires a whole episode for a setup, it's still fucking good. It's like it still works.
I love how they've like done so many like dramatic slow motion slaps, but I feel like the funniest ones are like the really like quick ones that you don't expect.
I remember the play. Remember the weird like horrible play one.
Yes, that was the best. Yeah, that was the best slap in my opinion because it was just like you weren't expecting it. It was just a random episode. You would think that they would only bring up slap in slap-related episodes, but because it was a bet, you get the sense of continuity in this.
Yeah, exactly. That was like I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the things that happened in that previous episode actually have consequences in this episode, and a lot of TV shows
they don't do that.
Do that. Actually, a lot of cartoons do that. A lot of like adult cartoons, like the shit you see on Adult Swim, they do that to a much better extent, in my opinion. But you're right. I noticed you were going to say some TV shows still don't do that.
Well, because it's easier for syndication reasons. Like, we can show these episodes out of order, so they don't give a fuck about the schedules. Like, I'll put season 3, 7, 4, 5 episode in this time slot. We don't fucking care. No one's gonna care about this shit.
Yeah, you do get more success that way, but it's just so much smarter.
Yeah.
Consequences, like a TV show does.
Oh no.
But yeah, it was just so funny because you're not expecting it, and it's just like, but it makes sense. It makes sense, and you're not expecting it. That's the big 1-2 of comedy that I love. It's smart. It's
smart planning.
Yeah.
They planned it very well. Speaking of planning well, what were some of your favorite Barney sexual conquest moments?
Ooh.
I'll start it off. It was the firing episode where he revealed that there's this like room where it's like it's meant for firing people, and then he slept with one of them before he fired her. That was like honestly like I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. It's like how very specific those positions had to be so the table, so that the camera wouldn't pick it up. That's just like my question. Like, how the fuck did they? I don't know.
Oh man, you remember the episode where the housewarming party with Lily and Marshall?
Oh my god, I remember that. I remember that one.
It was so fucking simple. All Barney had to do was not sleep with that one person. But she was hot, so it's just like, it's such a dumb joke, but like, I love it, since like, it's just so fitting for his character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fact that like, all you have to do is not sleep with, like, literally the entire universe is telling you not to do this. So he does it.
And he
It's
doesn't.
just like, it's so simple.
And he was so,
that's his character.
and he
You
was
know,
so,
like,
and he was so close.
he knew, he was very well aware that he was going to get physically hurt if he just had a one and done with this chick. But he did it because he wanted to.
And thankfully
It
it
was
paid
like
off. Thankfully it paid off.
It did not pay off. She almost killed him.
Well, what about the
He
bees?
had to escape the house.
Well, you have to forget. You forgot about the bees.
Oh yeah, the bees.
Yeah, now you remember. Now you remember. Another.
Ah, damn. Martin Short was great in that show.
Ironically, that was the second time. Yeah, I know. That was the second time I've seen Martin Short. First time was in the very, very critically planned The Santa Claus 3. That was like, oh god, they did not play him to the strings at all. I mean, I understand what he was trying to go for, but like, didn't work.
Yeah.
Didn't work. But that's another conversation for another time. But J-Lo. They actually got J-Lo.
Oh my god, they actually got Jennifer Lopez on the show, and I've never seen her look so fucking hot in my life.
She has. What are you talking about? Never. She's always looked hot.
I mean, yeah, no.
I don't think
she
there's
doesn't have to try, but like something of that in that show is just like, I want to see it.
You want to see something, but it's like
stop teasing me.
I think that was just like.
She wasn't teasing me. She was just standing there, you know, like she was just doing her thing, but like she has this aurora to her that's just like it's so powerful.
I think she has that effect on every man besides Barney.
Yeah.
She's on my
Yeah.
She's on my top.
I was mad at that episode. I was really mad. I was just like, just do it.
Oh yeah, exactly. She's in my top.
I get it. Like I know why he didn't do it. It made sense. But I was just like, damn it, you had
the one guest star I wanted, and you don't even give us that.
Yeah, like you felt his pain.
Yeah, that was, oh my god. There was another. Are you laughing because of?
Just remembering, and like I'm sorry, Joseph. I know that that one of the main staples of this show is that you do no editing on it. But I'm sorry, you have to edit in that clip where Barney just jumps into the river. He just goes straight up to the
Oh my god, I remember that.
and he's like...
You good? You good?
The way he does it, his fucking posture... No, it's his posture that gets me every fucking time. You know how hard it is to, like, rewind on, like, cable on demand?
Oh
It's,
yeah.
like, really finicky to work with. I never rewind on demand. It's really hard. But, like, I had to do that.
For
was just
that
too-
one shot.
It was too good. I had to see it twice, at least. the music. It built it up so perfectly. His face. I've never seen such great acting, great comedic acting in my life. He's just so stone-faced, but you see his pain. You see his pain, Joseph.
I do.
Neil Patrick Harris. Oh my god.
He
That
can
man
do-
was made for comedy.
He can do no wrong.
He can do no wrong.
He needs another show. He needs to do a new show.
I mean, honestly, like, I see... I'm not surprised that he doesn't work as much. You know, I could be wrong, but I know he started out in theater, so he might still be doing theater.
I have no clue. I know he did
If
this.
he would, I wouldn't know.
Okay, yeah.
Fun fact, though, he did theater before the show started, and so did the actor for Ted. The Neil Patrick Harris and the actor for Ted.
Radner.
Josh Radnor. Thank you. They were in a play together, and there was a scene where they actually slept with each other, or at least spent the night after they slept with each other.
Oh God.
And I feel bad. I forget where I heard this, so excuse me if I do get the details wrong. But apparently Neil Patrick Harris's wang was out during that scene in that theater production.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a fact that you're just telling me for the first time. I don't have any information on that.
Yeah, and it was great. Apparently, like when they got the gig on How I Met Your Mother, they were like, "Hey, saw you. We had that weird ass scene together." And he was like, "Oh, guess what? I actually am gay."
But speaking of that, him and Josh, well, Barney and Ted, the episode where Barney freely admitted, like, I want to bang your sister, played by none other than Time Force's Pink Ranger.
Yeah, Time Force, Power Rangers, Time Force. I was like, throughout that whole episode, I was beating myself up about it. I was just like, where the fuck am I seeing this girl? And I was just like, Power Rangers.
But no, that was a really good episode. They knew I forgot. Did they end up banging, or there was just like the inside joke, like trying to prove Ted wrong? I forgot which one.
I think they did end up. They did end up banging.
I'm not surprised, and there's absolutely no way Barney would just let it be a joke and try not to do it later.
I think you're mixing it up with the running gag that they've had throughout that whole series, where
the mother.
Barney would Barney would always tell Ted, "Oh, I fucked your mom." But you never know whether he's playing it off as a joke or not. So Ted is just like, "Fuck, I don't care if you're telling me you banged my mother. It'll be the 400th time you've told me that you banged my mother. I'm tired of you telling me that you banged my mother. Because 1, I don't believe you. 2, I don't want to believe you. And 3, shut the fuck up. It's annoying."
But that was like that was funny. Now that I remember it. Do you have any other favorite?
He's a cartoon character.
He basically is.
I think that's what's so special about him, is that like Marshall, Ted, Lily, Robin, all those characters, they have their ridiculousness. The show is ridiculous. It's cartoonish to an extent, but like they are. You can tell that they're all human at the end of the day. Barney is like some sort of weird ass like guy, like something about him seems just so unrealistic. But he's the only one that seems that unrealistic. So it's weird. It's so much fun to see him play off of all these other characters.
Mm-hmm. So before we move on, do you have any other Barney's favorite sexual conquest moments that you have? That you can remember?
I like the threesome episode, actually, since like...
Oh, God. Oh, but that had nothing to do with Barney.
In general thing, that's more of like a Ted and Barney dynamic that I really liked. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like... Ted was just like, look, it's not a big deal at the end of the day.
But it kind of is for him.
Like, it is for him, but, like, you really got to think about it. Like, I like that episode because it's just, like, if you're really trying that fucking hard to get into a threesome, do you deserve to have a threesome?
And his reasoning to, like, just really, like, kill Barney by the end of it.
Yeah, and I like how he just kind of dressed him down. He was just like, look, it's not a big deal. You either have one, it's either an experience that most guys don't get in their lives, and it's not more special. Mm-hmm. For some guys, it is more special. Not
for me.
His point is, like, you're not supposed to look at it that way. You're supposed to just enjoy it. Mm-hmm. That's it.
If you get the chance.
Stop worrying about scoring.
But he still did.
It's not what it's about. It's about just enjoying yourself. That's it.
But can we talk about that girl? Can we talk about that girl, like, who was in the threesome and also in the pineapple episodes? Like, honestly, they should have gave her a fair shot. Like, I thought she was cute. I mean, I think she would have been a fun, like, few episode girlfriend. Then they would have found an excuse to write her off.
Oh my god, the fucking pineapple episode.
Is it weird for me to say, like?
I always forget. They never. Correct me if I'm wrong. They never explain the pineapple.
There was I saw a scene online. Like, it turns out, and this was like a thing they just inserted in later in the series, where it would have been the captain, like the pineapple was on his doorstep, And then Ted, while he was drunk, he picked it up, and then how did he get in bed with the girl with the pineapple? I'm not sure how that happened, but
Yeah.
but this was like after they introduced the captain on the show. No,
The whole point of the episode is that they never explain it. That's the joke, and that's also the message of the episode. That you have to go on with life not knowing that shit. And it's also funny because where the fuck did this pineapple come from? And it's funny. I just always forget whether they do explain it.
I don't think they explain it.
There is like stuff that they pay. There is stuff they pay off like many seasons later in the show, so I forget whether that was next thing.
I don't remember. Like I watched the show, I think recently back in March, but we're recording this in June. But it's still fondly in my mind. Like I remember a majority of it, but I cannot remember if they ever explained that one in the show.
Yeah.
Maybe one day when I eventually find.
I love watching random episodes. Despite the whole thing being like one big story, watching random episodes is so much fun.
I'm kind of in between.
I love going to season 7 specifically for some reason and taking out episodes with friends.
Oh no! Oh yeah.
I wish I could have gotten my friend on this show, but I don't. I think he was open for it, but I don't remember.
It's fine.
We could have gotten him.
It's fine.
I love watching that show with him. There's some other friends that I've shown it to, and there's some friends of mine that don't like the show.
That's fine.
Think
That's
that it's overrated.
but that's a fair.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Speaking of our opinion, keeping the context of Barney's sexual context, let's rank Ted's girlfriends.
Ooh.
Do you want it?
For a lot. I really don't. I feel bad.
Do you want to like just use the major ones, or you want to include every single one he had?
No.
Some major ones.
List a couple of random ones.
So we have.
I'll tell you what I think of them.
We have Cupcake Girl, which I cannot remember her name for the life of me, even though she showed up back up again in the season. I forgot what the name was, but the Cupcake Girl. Then was Robin, but Robin's her own character. We'll talk about her later. Then was Stella, the one with the child in New Jersey. The way how that ended was like so fucking. It was fucked up, but it was kind of funny at the end of it.
I was just like, wow.
Oh, the whole Stella thing. Yeah, you're right,
man.
It was just so ironic, and they explained that in the show.
I wish they set it up better.
Like a few more episodes.
I wish they set that up better.
Like a few more episodes of setup.
Yeah. Or like maybe an episode or two more of them, because we don't see like Stella's ex-husband until that. The first time we see Stella's ex-husband is the episode where they get back together. I feel like if we showed him more and like if we established that it is possible for them to get back together, just once, then it would have been better. But I think that whole arc in general is just fantastic because you see the fucking Ted just looks empty. He just looks really fucking empty. Not sad, not depressed or anything. He's just like he's just done. And I'm just like, ooh, I've been there. Not in that specific situation. I hope I'm never put in that specific situation. But I've had that feeling before with romance. It's just like, yeah.
There's always
I
that.
feel like that's the strength of the show. It can be funny, but it can also have these, like, the moments are genuine. At least I think.
Oh no, yeah, same. In response to your like a few more episodes of like back, I mean, I think they did it fine in my opinion. I feel like maybe one more episode before that moment would have helped it out a little bit more. So I do agree with you on that, but I don't know. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like that was set up fine. Obviously, of course, like we kind of knew inherently like this wasn't going to work out, and thankfully it didn't work out. But no, you're right. Maybe we could have used one more. Like
that was great though, in my opinion.
She would have made a fine mother had we gotten that. The next one, which isn't really a major one, I just feel like including her, the mother's roommate. I know she was only a 2-episode character. I bring this up because this was two fun facts. Ted fucked up. That was the one strike I have against this show. They insulted hard lemonade. Ted literally said hard lemonade is for pussies, and I'm like, screw you, Ted. How dare you? This is my drink of my choice.
That is the drink of every barbecue.
How dare you?
Ted.
How dare you?
How dare you?
And then the second fact is that
Josh Radner.
I'm gonna tweet him in this later. And I don't know if he's on Twitter or not. I'll have to check. But and then the second thing is that woman was married to Hayden Christensen for many, many years.
Oh, that's her? Wow.
That was Anakin Skywalker's real life wife.
Nice.
They got
the one that he had a kid with?
Yeah.
I know he has a daughter.
Yeah, but I think they divorced like a few years back.
Okay.
So they.
Yeah, 'cause I know yeah, fun fact about Hayden Christensen. He's retired. Man bought a farm with his Star Wars money and lives there peacefully.
Well, he can't.
I'm like, you know what? For somebody that got made fun of a lot, I respect that. He managed to separate himself from the character and be like, you know what? People didn't like my performance. Are they being rude about it? Yes, and it probably made him angry.
But now it's been 15 years since that. So
he's like, all right, I'm done. He's living his life the way he wants to. Mm-hmm. I'm like, good for you, bro.
Mm-hmm. I feel like out of all the girlfriends, I feel like that would have been the one I would have been like. Let's just say hypothetically, if I was in that world, I would probably date her. I'm just saying that, like, getting that off the bandwagon there. I think it is very unfortunate that, like, I think this was the 100th episode where it was like this was the step closest to the mother at the earliest point of the timeline. Whereas, like, had it been like a few seconds, like a change in the intervals, they would have met.
He was just like, I think I saw her ankle.
Yeah.
And fun fact, that was the producer of the show's ankle.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this. It was just like a fill-in. They didn't even want to cast a random actress because like they're gonna feel obligated. Like, oh, we gotta have to bring her back, but we kind of don't want to like sign her on because we're waiting for the right person. But we'll get to her later. Then was
oh my god, the actress for the mother, by the way.
She was
perfect.
Perfect casting. Perfect.
Fucking perfect casting.
She's not the perfect woman.
She was a famous actress. Because she is damn good at her job.
She was.
In the Wolf of Wall Street, but only not for that much long. I'm like, damn. She deserves some like pretty big roles.
I mean, here's the thing, man. I mean, she went from please pardon my language. She went from being with a somewhat successful TV guy to being with Leonardo DiCaprio. So that was a huge fucking upgrade in in my books. Even though that didn't end so well, which was kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're right. Perfect casting. You know, she's not the perfect okay, there's no such thing as perfection. Let's just get that out of the way. There's no such thing as the perfect woman. But in terms of like, you know, casting for someone on TV, like everyone's looking for the perfect mother. I think like she was the perfect wife for Ted. They just cast the perfect, like this would be the person Ted would spend his life with.
Oh yeah.
So they did a perfect casting on that. But before we get to her, after the one I mentioned, then there was Zoe. Honestly, underrated. I honestly was kind of rooting for them for a while.
Jog my memory.
Was the captain's wife, the activist. Eventually, Ted started falling in love with her, and then she left the captain for Ted.
Cool. I liked her.
I thought she was underrated. I thought she could have deserved a little bit more.
She had a character.
She had a character, yes, and then. And then the last one before the mother, and he mentioned this in the show, like the one before you meet your one true love is always the craziest, and it had to be some crazy like stalker. Yeah. I did it.
Insane. And not gonna lie, that kind of a night. I don't like season 8 as much as I like the other seasons. Not gonna lie.
See, I can agree with you on that. I feel like that's just like we're just setting things up for the last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't really like that character. Like I understand, like had Zoe been the last one before the mother, that would have been much better. But I guess they wanted to have one more fun romantic like one-off before they move on to like the thing everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah.
But dude, I need to talk to you about this. Like this. I know you just said season 8's not your favorite, but you have to fucking admit the final scene of the season, where we finally see the mother, was like,
so well done.
this was the perfect way to end season. And some people say that should have been the ending of the show, but I thought that was the perfect way to set her up. It's like everyone's moving towards this weekend of change, and then meanwhile, the life is moving. Like we're fine.
I feel bad because we've been talking about this for so long, and like we haven't even scratched the surface.
Oh yeah, I know that. I mean, I don't think anyone can ever talk about this show, in my opinion, without it being maybe 6-7 hours. Which we're not. Don't worry, everyone. We're not going that length. We're not.
Yeah,
but I understand. We haven't even touched upon Marshall or Lily or Robin yet, and we were.
I was gonna touch on Marshall actually. I really like his character.
Oh, you want to move to Marshall? Okay, we'll go back. We'll go back to the mother later. Yeah, Marshall. Oh my god, bro, the amount of comparisons they made to you and Marshall.
Yeah, no, I like him. He's real simple.
He's lovable.
Yeah, I like his character. The whole episodes with him and his dad.
Oh my god.
Shit was
oh
great.
my.
I love that episode where he's having like a whole barbecue outside on his dad's grave.
Oh, I thought you were. But okay, but before we get to that scene, sorry for this. Sorry, I want to do a brief. Can we just? He deserves an Emmy for that fucking performance with the whole like revelation scene, because apparently he did not read the script for that. He was assuming that it was going to be a different planned moment, and then only the actress who played Lily, she knew the real context of the scene, and then when that was him on the spot. Like that was take one, only out of one. Can we just? There was no like second take or anything, because like there was absolutely no way they were going to recapture that the original shock, the original like he knew like I got to give this type of emotion, and that was one take, and it's like he deserves an Emmy for that. He deserves
Holy
one.
Shit!
Honestly,
I was going to say that's one of my favorite scenes in the show. I love that scene. It's really well done.
It just reminds you that this is.
It's one of the few examples, besides The Walking Dead, where like death is random. It happens.
It's like life. Right? You just don't know.
It's not going to be dramatic where it's going to build up to it like a story does. It's not a narrative.
But
it just does happen in life.
Exactly. It reminds you that this show's rooted in life. Yeah. This isn't like your typical sitcom where it's like, oh, everyone's going to survive this. Like, if someone dies in real life, yeah, we'll work it in there. But usually half the time it's like, oh, no one's going to die. Don't worry about it. It's a sitcom.
Or if a character does die, they lead up to it. They're going to have his last moments and everything.
But they didn't. They just was like...
No, he just fucking dropped. I was just like, damn, that's realistic.
Oh, no, yeah, you're...
And, wow. Now that I know about that, God, I got to go back and rewatch that scene now.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. I love Marshall. He's real simple, real funny. I love the episode where he stays at home for a really long time. Let's play Mario Kart.
Oh yeah, when he was
Mario Kart.
Which one are you more fond of? Heartbroken Marshall or Jobless Marshall? Which was your favorite?
Ooh, Jobless Marshall was really funny.
Oh yeah.
Marshall was just like off the fucking wall. No.
Oh, he was just bored. I mean, I think it was... No, I was saying... no, wait. There was another one. Like, what was the creepy thing he did while he was jobless? I forgot which one it was. I don't remember. That was the one thing I don't remember about. I remember, like... How did they pay their fucking rent? I'm like, he didn't have a job for so long. How the fuck did they pay...
It's a TV show. How... You ever notice how many... No. Alright, no. Because we're gonna clip this. We're gonna have this little segment as its own... fucking clip, Joseph, if you don't mind. How the fuck do they keep affording cabs? I have seen the subway. This is a show that it is rooted in New York. It doesn't do a perfect job representing New York, but I don't mind that since the show is great. And it does capture New York decently, I think. It's not perfect, but it does the job. I've seen the subway in the show maybe once or twice. These characters are always taking cabs. They're taking the cab to work. They're taking the cab home. How the fuck do they afford this? I don't have that money.
I understand Barney. I do not understand anyone else.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna assume...
They have way too much. Every New Yorker watching this, tell me, how often do you take it?
Do you want to just assume...
Tell us in the comments. Tell us how often you take a cab. New York City.
If you live in
I
New
will
York.
tell you,
If you
I
live
will
in,
reply to every comment.
if
saying
you live in
it's
New,
not
if you
nearly as much.
if you live in New York City.
Yeah.
What for? I don't know what was I gonna say. I think let's just say Ranji just probably like waives the fare for them. I guess.
Ranji.
I think
Hello.
I love Ranji so much. It's like I honestly he's just a character from the pilot. We'll never see him again, and he just keeps showing back up. And it's like,
Yeah.
damn, they love him so
For
much.
no reason. I love the New Year's Eve episode where he just randomly showed. I was just like, okay, that New Year's Eve episode, dude. That is one of the best ones because it's just like it's an actual like narrative, and it's just like the lows are very low. I've been in moments like that where everything's really awkward and boring, and not everything is going the way you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
But then I love that moment where it's just like, hey, it's great again. Like where Marshall is like running through the fog while Shot Through the Heart is playing in the background. That was great. I remember watching that episode with all my friends, and we were cheering and shit for Marshall. Like, yeah. I love that.
Oh no, I love the New Year.
By the way, I have eaten that Grace papaya. It's all right. It's cheap. It's good. Go there and get some lunch. All right.
Want to go get some lunch?
Do it.
I'm good now, bro. Sorry, I just ate dinner.
I don't want to go to the city either. It's very dangerous there.
No, not right now. Like I just recently took my first like walk in terms of like just walking, like because I usually get driven to work. That's it. And then I head back. Today was the first time I took an actual walk, not to anywhere. Like, I was still in my town. I still haven't left where I live in 3 months. I haven't been to like Flushing yet. I haven't even touched there since March.
I have not touched Flushing in a long time.
No, I haven't. I'm not taking that risk until, let's say, maybe after the summer. Let's just say that. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see how the world is. Anyway, back to this show. Let's give some Lily some love. We obviously Robin will get
great. She's real weird. Real weird.
She is very weird, and as a wife, I do not want credit card debt.
Yeah, Lily and oh my god. Actually, like some people were not that. It's just it was really out of character for her, and it's just like that very much goes into the whole theme of the show. Not theme of the show, but like the whole thing where it's just like, yeah, the show. You can make a solid argument saying that it's fun, but I disagree. There are really dumb moments like that in the show where a character just does something very out of character and is suddenly forgiven for it, and they act like that never happened.
I think it reminds me more of now that we're bringing this. Now that we did this episode like maybe like a year ago, would have been different. Like it reminds me of Seinfeld, where it's like they get their dues. These characters they don't get their dues at all. It's like even if they can do the most shittiest thing in the world, they'll still like get out of it scot-free somehow.
Yeah, it's not perfect in that regard, but I'm willing to look past that kind of stuff and still love the characters. I love Lily as a character.
I love Lily too. I feel like out of the 5, she's my weakest. Not to say she's bad or anything, but I think out of all the 5 characters, I think she is like my least favorite. Not because they don't give her a lot. They give her some great moments, but like she just does some stupid stuff sometimes where it's like, oof, you shouldn't have done this. Oof, you shouldn't have done that. How the hell are you a kindergarten teacher? You're supposed to be raising the next generation of kids.
Yeah.
Because
I love all the kindergarten jokes that they make.
I think it was after the season 1 finale where it's like she's opting like I'm gonna start a whole new life in San Francisco, and then she realized this was the worst mistake. I mean, I understand it's a learning experience; she had to learn the hard way. But come on, you wasted how much money? The little money you have left to go on this excursion and then be broke as hell when you come back.
And hey, her dad made just many poor decisions in his life.
Oh, that dad! I don't even want to talk about the dad. He's just
is so fucking fucked up.
Isn't it like? Here's the thing. Isn't it like you're gonna have to like give me some clarification. So since they're married, wouldn't that make Marshall's mother and and Lily's dad like brother-in-laws in a way?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's just it was a dumb joke that they made. It was just more like a one-off joke, and it was just like.
I don't know.
Right, you're going with that trope.
It's
like,
just
they're dating too.
it's just weird.
Whoa.
I don't know, because like there was a thing I was thinking about. This was a high school thing where it's like, well, what if your mom and dad, your mom, no, like let's just say my dad and someone I was interested in, and their dad were dating. No, like hold on, let me rephrase it. Like my dad and someone else's I like mom just started dating, and then the person I'm with we start dating, and then it's like, okay, well, one of us is gonna have to get married and the other one's gonna have to break up. Because you can't have both relationships. You can't. That's not how it works. Apparently. Because like, wouldn't that be weird? In like the court of law system's like, wait a minute. So your children, both of your children are married.
It's real weird. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's supposed to be just like goofy.
I know. I understand. I get that.
Yeah.
Oh, can we? Oh,
there's plenty of jokes like that in the series where it's just like dumb, quick, and it gets a cheap laugh out of you. And you know what? They're in such rapid succession that I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them come from the later seasons. Like I said, in which the creators were not there for. I'm pretty sure the creators left and joined back at that very last season.
I would check on my phone, but my phone's on airplane mode because I want to respect this episode and not be interrupted.
Same.
So I can't check right now. Plus, because we're recording this, hopefully the thing you're seeing.
Note in or something. Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll have to be reminded. But future Joe, remember this. Anyway, so I mean, also shout out to when we were getting to the whole Lily credit card debt arc or storyline. We got a cameo from.
It was funny, I will admit. It was funny.
It was like her excuse, like I'm sad. I want to go into debt. I'm angry. I'm gonna go into debt. It's like so fucking fun. How the fuck does all these credit unions just keep improving credit lines for her?
Yeah.
Like I barely have a couple credit cards and I barely use them. Because like, I'm so afraid that I'm going to overspend them and I'm fucked in the future. So I didn't do it. Well, also, side note, Mr. Mosby from Sweet Life made a cameo on the show. So
yes, that was great.
I think this was done at the same time. So I guess he was playing two characters, I guess. I'm not sure. Anyway.
It was a quick role. So.
It was only one scene. But it was still fun to get to...
This show is old.
It's only 2005. Wow. Is it 2005 or 2004? I think it was 2004. No, wait.
Still, over, wait. You know, I know for a fact it started in 2005. Same year as Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Since those two shows are extremely different.
Yeah, yeah. But but I get what you mean.
Yeah, and it ended in 2014. So.
Oh, 2014, okay, because it's 9 seasons, okay. Moving on.
15 years ago.
Damn, it's been a... Oof.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Jesus. We're getting old. I'm getting old.
I was old enough to be in high school.
Oh, I feel sorry for what it would have been in high school. Okay, so now the last character, Robin.
Real weird. Very, very straightforward character. She has her own arc, just like everybody else. Everybody has their own arc, but I find hers to be very interesting since it's so closely tied with Ted's, who is the most interesting character in the show, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Robin, like in terms of like I'm asking you as a writer, not like a fan here. Do you think it was wise for them to use Robin as like the catalyst for like starting off this journey, like just having her be the character that Ted has to be anchored to until he's ready to like move on to the mother? Or do you think?
I think they went a little bit too far with it.
Where do you think?
That's why in the later seasons they were just like, no Ted, no Robin, even meant. Like, you ever notice how in the later seasons they just refuse to talk about how Ted and Robin had feelings for each other at one point, and they even made a joke about it. Ted was like trying to like win something with Robin, and he was just like, "But I still love you," and she was just like, "Don't pull that shit on me. I know you don't."
Oh yeah. Oh, so they're playing the typical like the sitcom thing, like, "Oh, we used to love each other, but we don't anymore, so we're moving on from that."
Yeah, and not that they ignored it, but it was just like they strayed so far away from it for a while, and I feel like that was because they tried a little bit too hard with it. They hammered in like, "Hey, guess what, guys? Ted and Robin belong together. Get it?"
I guess, but I mean, we'll talk about that when we
I
hit.
feel like the show tried a little bit too hard to show us that they belong together, and I was just like, yeah, I know they belong together. We've been building up for 10 years. So Scott, shut up about it now.
Yeah, no.
See, like, even I complain about the show sometimes, but I still love it.
I still love it too. Like, there is no such thing as the perfect show. There's no such thing.
No.
I feel like even though this is in my top,
pretty damn close.
this is in my top 5 shows of all time, next to My Hero Academia. And I know those are 2 very different shows, but in terms of me, like those are the shows like I would easily rewatch any day of the week. Like if I say fuck my shows, fuck this show, and I just do. If I just am able to do whatever the fuck I want, it would be just binging How I Met Your Mother. So
I think in the world of sitcoms,
this is the best.
In my opinion, it reigns supreme. It is the best.
Mm-hmm.
It is my favorite.
Same.
Yeah, in my opinion, it is the best. I know that people are going to disagree with me, though.
Oh no, yeah, of course. I'm gonna make a very vocal IG post about this when this is about to be released. I'm gonna get a lot of comments. I'm gonna get a lot of fucking hateful DMs. But that's Future Joe's problem, not mine. But okay, so overall, as Robin as a character, what did you think of her? Like overall, like Ted aside, like let's remove everything Ted related.
I like her. I like the jokes that she usually makes. Very stubborn, very Canadian. The whole like Robin Sparkles thing is fucking hilarious.
We're not doing a rendition of "Let's Go to the Mall." I refuse. We will get copy.
She recently did a rendition of it.
Oh god, I didn't hear about.
Let's go to the mall some other time.
Oh god. Thank gosh she's moved.
It was funny. Her character was really funny with just how stubborn and sometimes annoying she is.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was fucking hilarious how she loved to wash herself while she had sex.
Oh, I remember. I remember that. Like, there's a much more attractive man on top of you, and you're focused on yourself.
It's just like, wow. And that goes into her whole arc thing where she really does only think about herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she had to learn to, again, she had to learn to live with that. Mm-hmm. Not get over it, but live with it. It's just like, okay, I do think about myself a lot, but I'm not going to let that get in the way of my life. I'm not going to let that stop me from doing what I want to do in my life and what I should do in my life.
Of course, you're right. What about...
And I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that it's much like Ted with love. Robin's focus is not on love, but herself.
So with that being said, what was your overall opinion about the decision? Well, not decision, like the destination that it was. Like, no, it wasn't her and Ted. It was her and Barney. Like for the good amount of time they were together. I don't mean like they were endgame or anything, but I meant the fact of like the writers decided like, oh no, these two belong together in the context of the current story.
I kind of like it.
It's weird that I agree with that too. Like it's
very weird.
There's,
I don't think she should have ended up with Barney.
But it's weird because like you get the episodes of Bill where it's like there's so much alike. Like it's weird because like they're two very different characters, but they have so many traits together. They have so many characteristics together, and I mean, even like the
chemistry. They do. They really do. The actors do a good job showing that, like, these two can get along pretty well, actually.
Which was weird because like you got one woman who's like respectable of herself, and then you have Barney who is Barney, and you would assume like Robin would never go for Barney, and then I think it was like the end of season 3 where it was like, shit, there might be more to this, than we thought.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they should have gone in that direction, but they did, and they committed to it. I think was the most interesting thing about it is that they break up in the end. They get divorced. I'm just like, wow.
But
damn, they had the balls to just straight up divorce them, and I was just like, that. I say that only because we do live in a world where divorce happens.
I mean, yeah, of course.
People do fall in love, and
the love just
fizzles
out.
Yeah.
Barney said it best. Like, we had a very successful marriage that only lasted 3 years. It wasn't a failure by any. I mean, it kind of. No matter how you paint it, it is a failure. But like,
It is a failure. It's just that like.
At least they said like.
Not in his eyes, though.
Mm-hmm.
They still care about each other, and they still have that respect. And I'm like, wow. All right.
I mean, I don't get like again. This is why I understand why people would say it, but I don't see it as that. Like, yes, I do understand. You spend a whole season about their wedding, and then you break them up in the final episode. I understand that was a kind of a. You could say it's a cheap shot, but for me, it's like, yeah, you're right. Like this is based in reality. This is based in life. Like, people do divorce. Like,
yeah,
that
they're the only characters that end up divorcing.
Mm-hmm. Out of everyone. But that's just I understand why people would hate that, but for me, it's like, well, that's just a representation of life. That's gonna happen. Yeah. You never know. Like, at the moment, yes, they were in love. They were ready to like tackle the world together, and then things just change. Life changes, and they adapted the best they could, but it just eventually it's like we've just become two different people from when we began falling in love with each other, and now it's either we be depressed but stay married, or we divorce and potentially like start living our own lives again and be happy again. And I think they made the right move in that, personally speaking.
You can tell that they were just doing that just so they can have Ted and Robin end up together in the end. And yes, spoilers, Ted and Robin end up together in the end. But
yeah.
You can tell that they only divorced them because that's what they were trying to do. But the way they did it, I was just like, all right, nice. I was like, the way I felt about it was, I'm tired of sitcoms that show a perfect life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that balance of comedy and drama.
I think Marshall and Lily were the representation of like the closest you can get to. Like, they weren't perfect, but like they had a near perfect life.
They were a marriage. They were like,
it worked.
Yeah.
It worked, but not everyone's like that. Not everyone can be a Marshall. They made that joke on the show that not everyone can be Marshall and Lily. It's impossible. It's so rare to have that love. And I feel like everyone was expecting like, oh, all of them have to have that same relationship. No, of course not. Never was going to happen in a million years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I understand why Barney and Robin eventually ended up separating. And then you see it in the flash forwards why they kind of had to at the end, not because of the whole like, oh, Ted and Robin were ultimate meant for each other, just not in their current iterations. But I still understand why they did that, just to have that real life hit in the mouth for the viewers, which I do understand why people would hate that, but at least for me, I accepted that.
So I guess in that regard, what do you think of the ending?
Do you want to segue to the mother, or you just want to talk about the ending?
The ending. I mean, all right, quick talk about the mother. Her character is perfect.
Oh no, yeah,
I'm not saying like she herself is perfect. I'm saying the way they did her character and everything was perfect. I loved the dramatic, sad story of her life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the 200 episode, the how the mother met me. That was perfect. One of the best ways to celebrate it, because basically, do you want to know
she is singing La Vie en Rose on the balcony with the ukulele? You can tell this is just a person that is broken. She just has no joy left, and she's just going about life the way she can.
But then
again, almost like Ted when he broke up with somebody, he was just empty. But you could tell she was like that for a very long time because she had nothing.
I mean, you're right. You're right.
Life just threw so much shit at her.
You're on that.
Like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And she dies.
Hold on, I'll get to that part in a moment. On the comedic sense of everything you said before that last line, it was funny how like the 200 episode basically was the entire show in one episode, and on the mother's perspective, it took one episode to tell her 8-year story. For Ted, it took 199 episodes to tell his story. Mm-hmm. That was kind of like that was the hilarious subtext I read into it. But then on a serious note, watching that episode, like seeing like yes, when we do get to see these two characters together, you do understand like why they're meant for each other, but it just showcases like not everyone's gonna have the same journey as you, and
Yeah.
that for her it's like she, like I read a YouTube comment, and I know YouTube comments are usually like, but very dime a dozen, but you know what I mean. I read this one comment where it's like everyone like in the with these two characters they had two love of their lives. The mother had the man that she sadly that died in the beginning, like the very beginning of that episode. She had a boyfriend, but I don't know why he died. I think it was an accident or something. And that was the reason why you were saying like, huh?
I believe. I believe car accident.
Okay, yeah, that would have been okay. That sounds familiar. And then like you said, like that broke her for like because it wasn't like a breakup. It was just like an ending.
An abrupt ending.
Yeah, it wasn't planned. It wasn't like a breakup where it's like, oh, there was thought put into this. No, this was a simple like life got in the way, and it really wrecked her up. Even like when we did get to see her with the naked man, and then also with that guy we'll talk about the naked man in a little bit, but and then with the guy she ended up with before she met Ted, you saw that, yeah, even in those two male encounters, like you can tell like she wasn't that happy.
No, she was not happy at all.
Like it wasn't until like she met Ted where it was like the switch kind of reignited in her, even though like
She wasn't satisfied
with those other men until she met Ted.
Just...
But that was a sweet. That was like a very sweet moment the writers wrote in where it's like, well, that her journey was filled with sorrow and yeah, like you said, emptiness. But then once she met Ted, like that was the beginning of like something new.
Yeah, even when she dies, yes, it's very sad, but her whole life with Ted and raising a family with him, she enjoyed that, so she was content when she died. So it's like, all right. You bring up a good point where it was just like, yeah, the 200th episode is a great like microcosm of what the show is like.
On the other side,
drama.
yeah. Now to get back to your question about the ending.
Yeah. Just to wrap this up, if you don't mind.
The ending was like, and I've actually said this speech before to someone that I'll tell you after we wrap this because I don't want to reveal a personal detail. I had this conversation with someone and we were talking about the ending about how the mother died. And it's like, wow, they spend like over 200 episodes like for us to meet this mother, and then when we finally get to see these two together, she dies. Again, that's life. You just never know what's gonna happen. You just never know. Like again, like you said, like sitcoms usually portray like the perfect, life for them. Where in reality, it's like this show's already been rooted in reality. Like, why is it not surprising that like this could happen? Like,
yeah, or like some sitcoms, they try a little bit too hard. Where it's just like suddenly really funny, and suddenly somebody talks about how they're not able to have children. Guess what show I'm talking about? I'm not going to mention it, but it was just like that's an example of how they don't do well.
mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is like How I Met Your Mother, they're able to even it out.
Yeah,
they're able to like have that transition of like we're able to have these funny things, and life also happens realistically too.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand that. But to get back to the point of the matter with the whole ending thing, I totally 100% understand why someone would like say, wow, this fucking sucks. They wasted my time because like this is the journey of how we're supposed to meet the mother and then she dies. I mean, come on, man. Well, what's wrong with the writing? But like, think of it. This is real life. This is a representation. I personally, not personally. None of my friends are married. But my father, his friend, who ironically was little like you. No offense, George. No offense. My parents call you Little George. I'm sorry. I mean, they have a family friend called Little Carlos. His wife passed away because of cancer, and that was not planned. That was just something that happened. Life happened. They have no How I Met Your Mother connection here, but they had two beautiful kids together, and then sadly she got sick, she got cancer, and then she passed away. That's life. You just don't know what's going to happen. They loved each other. They, spend every day with each other, but then that just happens. I understand this is a TV show, and I know people would like say like, oh, we invested over almost a decade into these characters. We want to see like a happy ending, but it's like no, like sometimes it's just a reminder, like these characters are not immutable to like this sort of thing, and Ted got what he wanted. He had a family. He had two beautiful. He wanted kids. He wanted a wife. He got all that. It sucked that it had to end like that, but at least he still remembers all the happy times he had with her. And in terms of the Robin thing, I mean, I understand, like, yeah, like, the line at the end where it's like, oh, basically you just told us the story just to get permission so you can go out with Robin again. That kind of, but realize that, like, he's moved on. He's moved on with his life. He's, his kids are old enough to, like, start being independent. And, he's ready to, like, not have a guiding hand anymore. So, like, he is ready to, like, maybe get back out there. And, back in the end of season 2, Robin wanted, to have her career and Ted wanted a family. And they just weren't, at the time period, we knew they were great together as a couple. Let's just stop, stepstoning around that.
Different people.
But they worked together for some weird reason.
Well, yeah, like, what I'm saying is, like, it was worth a shot to try and see what happens with Robin again. I think it is weird. I think it is. So I see why people think it's unfitting because of the whole Barney situation. It's just like you set this whole thing up with Barney and Robin,
and you just
end up with Ted. But it was just like, one, they filmed that ending already. I'm sorry. Like, you could not go with that ending, but they wanted to, and that was their choice. And it was just like, yeah, I think it would have, like I said, I think the ending would have been more fitting if they only had 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah, but we had 9 seasons of a story to tell.
Yeah, because she wouldn't have ended up with Barney and everything, and that whole, not plot hole, but that whole complaint that people make just wouldn't be there. I feel like, but something about the ending, I was just like, yeah, it feels conclusive.
It does.
And the whole thing where they show the credits of the characters in season 1,
it just reminds you where they came from.
Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it too, and the song they used was like perfect. They chose a perfect song, and regardless of how your opinion is about that ending, I still felt like it's just life. Like for me, the whole contextualization, the whole theme of the show is life and love, and we saw that for Ted, and we
saw that for everybody.
Exactly, and
even Barney sometimes.
Sometimes. We'll forget about the hooker one. But, it was a stripper. It was a stripper one. The stripper one.
Yeah, the stripper.
The stripper. But that's the thing. Like, this show was so rooted in real life, and you gotta understand, like, not every love is gonna be perfect. Not every love. Like, you're gonna get so many variations of it. And I know it sucks.
Or you're not. Or you're gonna have 2 girlfriends in your whole life.
And that's
maybe.
It. Yeah, you just don't know, but you just gotta see where life throws at you, and I think the writers did the right thing about keeping that going, where it's like anything can happen, and just like real life, anything can happen, and I think they played the smart direction where it's like, well, in the comics, like, well, the mother passed away, but Ted has his kids. He wanted kids. Robin had her career. And she had a pretty successful one, and so like, yeah, they got what they wanted, so why not? They're both single again. Why not? And that's honestly part of life. Like, if they want to explore.
I think the ending
is perfect. Well, it's not perfect. It's great.
It's not.
It's a great ending.
It's fitting.
It's a fitting.
It was entertaining, and you know what? Like I said, my favorite moment in the show is that first date episode. Like, I love that so much that I'm okay with the ending. Like, the whole show is just so good that the ending, so what if you don't like it? The rest of the show is great.
Exactly. I loved all the Ted and Mother scenes. I loved all of them. Like, I wanted more of that, but it was fun, and we got like just a very small chunk of it. Because the whole point of the show is, again, it's How I Met Your Mother. It's not, again, I would love an HBO Max X like mini-series. Like, let's just see them in their prime. Let's just see them while they're married together. I would just love. Give us 10 episodes. 10 episodes, like let's say 13 episodes. I'm pushing it. Oh, I moved the camera. 13 episodes. I'm fine with it. That's it. We can move on. I just want to see you can have the other characters pop in for a cameo. Just have those two together for an entire 13 episode run, and that's it. I'm totally fine with that because these actors work so well off together that you understand why they were meant for each other. You understand why, and that's what I loved about the casting of the character of the mother, and I feel like that made the whole journey worth it. The whole like knife season, like just whenever you get to see the mother, and it was so weird. Like we saw the mother for like in the train segment. And then we go like a good stretch without seeing the mother, which is kind of weird, but it's like, it kind of does make sense because like this whole show is about How I Met Your Mother. But like, it would be weird, like the mother's always ironically like in the room or in the next room over. Like that would have just gone.
The way they do it is fun. It's entertaining.
It is.
Like, yeah.
But yeah.
That show is never. In conclusion.
I feel like in conclusion, yeah, we'll wrap it up here because. Again, this show deserves a 6-7 hour podcast, which we are sadly not able to produce right now. But it does. We're just telling you like this show is in our hearts so well that like we could talk about it for like 7 hours. We could do that. But in the context of a what's on the tube, in overall for me, in conclusion, I to kind of echo what you said, like this is probably the best sitcom ever made. This is the best representation you can get out of romance, of, you know, the hopeless romantic side of things, and, you know, seeing an accurate representation of life through a 22-minute comedic presentation on television.
I don't think you can tell a perfect story through the form factor of a sitcom. But I think this is really damn close.
This is really.
I think it's really close to being a perfect story.
I think if they shaved the season of episodes, and not to say like there were bad episodes, I'm just saying in terms of like the good, like
it could have been a little bit more cohesive. It could have been a little more straightforward.
I feel like someone could do like a How I Met Your Mother Kai and just get all the episodes we really need to see.
How I Met Your Mother Kai.
I'm just saying that as a joke. I'm just, you know what I mean. I'm pretty. Here's the thing.
More accurate to the manga.
Here's the thing, George. In this pandemic time, do you really would expect CBS not to pass up? Hey, let's just re-edit How I Met Your Mother just as a shorter, more comprehensible show. You do realize it could work.
Yeah, it could. That's the thing.
Will they do it? Probably not.
I'd watch it.
I would still watch it. I would if they said we're reformatting, we won't change the ending. We're gonna re-edit all the episodes so that it's like goes from 9 seasons, let's say 7 seasons of a streamlined story. I would watch it. I would fucking watch it. No questions asked. I would watch the whole thing. But no, in all honesty, this is 9 seasons or 7 seasons or, I love this show too damn much.
Just watch it. Just watch
it. It's on Hulu.
It's good. You're gonna have fun. Get some friends together. Watch that.
Well, in this context,
first season.
Yes.
Yeah, no. I'm saying when you get the chance. Hey, no. Fucking stream it on Discord.
Oh yeah. I forgot you could do that.
Share your screen of you watching it. Put your friends in the chat. There you go. You're gonna have a good night. It'll be fun. It's fun, guys. That's the point of the whole thing.
It is, and again, there's just so much more to say that it's hard for me to kind of wrap it up. But I honestly, hands down, and this is not just speaking because it is the 100th episode. It's just so fitting to be, in my opinion, one of the best shows ever made. And I give credit to the creators, the writers, the cast, the crew, everyone involved in this show. Even CBS for giving this show the chance to tell its full story. And to be able to entertain these people for viewers for 9 years. And, no matter what you think of the ending, no matter what you think about the last seasons, that either way, they still told a story that's still rooted in life. And it puts you through every single range of emotion possible. I don't think I ever cried on this show. I don't think I cried at one moment of the show, to be honest. It's very hard to make me cry, but... I
cried once, but it wasn't that much.
I would like to know what moment that is, but I'll ask you about that later. But
Joseph.
What?
Congratulations. 100 episodes. Congratulations on actually sticking to a plan and being consistent with your work on this channel.
Yeah, we produced Yeah, it's great. Like we'll finish it up there, but it's crazy that we've done 100 episodes, and I think this is
quickly too.
This is the first.
Oh my God.
This is the first content I ever produced to reach 100 episodes. I don't even think Let Joe Talk even hit 100 yet. I don't even hit 50 yet, and I've been doing that for like 3 years. I got to be more consistent on that, but no, yeah, I'm very. Thank you, Jordan. I'm very blessed to be able to keep doing this, and we have many more shows coming up on the channel and on this show specifically that hopefully we'll get to talk about in September. But I think with that being said, overall, How I Met Your Mother, master praise, highly recommended. I'm gonna see if I can do this. Actually no. I was gonna like bring up my feet, and get four thumbs up, and it's like I can't do that. I would give this
Sitcom and Ebert style 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, so master recommendation, 2 thumbs up.
Very low budget Siskel and Ebert style show.
Any final comments? Hopefully.
That's my final comment. We gotta put some money into this channel.
We do. Before I give the ending rigmarole, thank you, George, for joining me on this 100 episode.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me just ramble on about one of my favorite TV shows.
We should do a part 2 someday. Maybe when we hit 500, we'll do part 2.
I think I'm willing to do this for other shows.
Oh, you want to like branch off the remaining segment?
I'm willing to make different content about other shows.
If we ever do a Doctor Who review series, you'll be the first to call. Will I ever do that?
Let us know what you think. Let us know what I want to see. I want to see what you guys want to see.
Oh, I'm heavily.
Tell us what you want to hear.
I'm heavily interested in.
What do you want us to talk about?
Yeah, because
watch fucking Narcos. All right.
Oh God, I'm not doing Narcos. Oh hell no. Okay.
If all the viewers told you to watch Narcos,
I would have to be in the mood for it. To be honest with you, I mean.
All right.
Hopefully George will be back around. I do. We'll figure out a way to weave George in more on this show. We'll figure out a way, right? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. We'll figure out a way to weave him into more What's in the Tubes, hopefully in the near future. But with that being said, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for having. George has already said his final comments, so he'll have to stick through my usual rigmarole. So if you were unaware, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to know what we're doing overall on What's in the Tube, we do DC Stargirl episode reviews each and every Friday after a brand new episode on Monday on DC Universe, the app. Every Tuesday night on the CW, or free on Wednesdays on CW.com and the CW app. We also do Doom Patrol Season 2 reviews. Again, this is a time capsule episode, so I have not started recording those yet. So hopefully Season 2 is good, hopefully. I can't say yes or no, but hopefully those are good. But you can catch those episode reviews each and every Saturday after a brand new episode on HBO Max and DC Universe every Thursday. And also, we also do Perry Mason episode reviews each and every Monday after a brand new episode on HBO on Sunday nights. But if you only care about How I Met Your Mother, sad to say, this is a one-off. We probably won't. I would love to do more with George, but limitations with our lives and such. Yeah. We can't go any further than I don't even know how long we've been going for. There's no time codes. 2 hours? What? I don't have my glasses on. Can I? Oh damn! Oh no, actually an hour and a half. That's not bad. That's not bad. That'd be crisis.
We started calling at. I think we started this at
We started the call at 8, but yeah, so about an hour and a half, hour 40. Well, yeah, but
see you guys.
Hold on, man. I got one more usual rigmarole beat. You can't ruin. If you were, however, you were unaware again, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of us, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube.com. Ring the bell for notification when we have a new review live. Like, favorite, share if you want to, but it does help us out. And last but not least, follow us on social media to be up to date. I'm linking George's social media stuff in the thing below. So go follow him on Twitter. Go follow his webcomic on Webtoons. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. So again, be safe, be good to each other, stay safe out there, everyone. We'll get through all this COVID and world shit together, and we'll see you guys soon, hopefully. Peace out. Peace out.